While it sounds like a big number to someone who's new to investing, having $100,000 invested is a great goal and it's much more attainable than you think. I think $100,000 is a great benchmark when it comes to investing because with compound interest, your net worth will start to explode once you get to that point. With my own investing, I feel like $100,000 was the first big hurdle because until that point, it kind of feels like a grind. It feels like you're sacrificing a ton and you're not seeing a lot of gains up front. But once you hit $100,000, you really see compound interest start to hit and you start to feel like all of your hard work is finally paying off. While it can be a stretch goal, I think it's very attainable to have $100,000 invested by the time you turn 30. And it's a great goal to have if you have aspirations of building a lot of wealth. So if you're starting in your early 20s and you really dedicate yourself, you may even find that you'll hit this goal even faster. So if this sounds appealing to you, make sure you stick around because we're gonna go over step by step how to build your investments to $100,000 by age 30. And don't worry, because I'll even include the exact amount you need to invest every month to accomplish that goal. The first step is hitting that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel and I would really appreciate it. Thanks. And no, that's not really step one. But before we jump in, I also want to add the disclaimer that this is not official financial investment advice. Before investing your money in anything, make sure you do your own research and if needed, make sure you talk to a certified financial advisor. So I've mentioned this a lot in my previous videos, but I think there's a misconception out there that investing needs to be complicated or it needs to be difficult. And that really could not be further from the truth. I personally like to keep my investing very simple and I invest in index funds and sometimes target retirement date funds. In one of my recent videos, I actually lined out my exact investing strategy. So if you're interested, make sure you check that one out and I'll put the link right here. I'll also put it in the description. The reason I'm so passionate about keeping investing simple is that there's so much advice out there that's telling you to do the exact opposite. Most of the personal finance content that I see floating around social media is centered around picking the hottest stocks, trading options, or getting involved in the new risky cryptocurrency investment. And while I definitely think this type of content can be entertaining, it usually just leads to people getting overwhelmed, and because of that, they put off investing altogether. And the great news is that investing can and should be a lot simpler than that. And once you build strong financial habits, your investing is gonna start to grow a lot faster than you think. So anyway, now that we have that out of the way, let's go into exactly what you're gonna need to do to build your investments to $100,000 by age 30. And before we get into the actual investing, we have to talk about an important one. Step one is staying or getting out of debt. More specifically, consumer debt and high interest debt. If you're racking up a huge balance on your credit cards or you're taking out loans to go on vacations or to fund other lifestyle items, you should actually click off of this video right now and focus on paying off your debt. Building wealth and accomplishing this goal of having $100,000 of invested by the time you turn 30 is practically impossible if you're strapped down with a ton of bad debt. So your first goal should really just be to avoid debt altogether, unless it's for a mortgage or maybe a reasonable car payment. And you have to be really careful here because this is the stage of your life that you should be opening credit cards to start to build your credit, but you need to make sure you're paying off the balance in full every month on these cards. And this is also the stage of life that you might have student loans. And if you already have them, that's fine. Let's talk about those really quick. If you haven't gone to school yet and you can't avoid it, I do recommend finding more affordable education opportunities so that you can graduate completely debt-free. But if you're in your 20s and you already have student loans, then don't panic. But your goal for right now should be to get those student loans paid off as quickly as possible. Definitely be investing in your retirement, but anything on top of that should be going towards student loans. So I don't know if this goal of having $100,000 invested by age 30 should be your top priority right now, but once you get those student loans paid off, make sure you come back to the video and learn how you can do it. If you've managed to stay completely out of debt in your 20s, you've set yourself up to really take advantage of these early years of your professional career. And you've also set yourself up to hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, it really helps the channel and I'd really appreciate it. And that's the last time I'm gonna ask. Thank you. Okay, moving on to step 2, and I promise we're gonna get to investing soon. But speaking of student loans, the next step you have to take is to finish your education and get started in your career. And this may seem like it has nothing to do with the topic of the video, but trust me, it does, because your income is gonna be the tool that allows you to invest and allows you to build wealth. With no income, you have no investments in the first place. And don't let this discourage you, because it actually does not take a huge income to accomplish this goal. But it is going to require you to put in a little work, to do your research, and to find a career that's going to pay you a respectable wage. So when you're deciding what you want to go to school for, whether that's college or trade school or something else, make sure you pick a field that's going to result in you getting a decent job after you graduate. When I was selecting my major in college, this was my primary focus. And don't get me wrong, I wanted to major in something that I was interested in, but I also wanted to get a great return once I was done with my school. And as I was searching, I came across supply chain management. And at the time, nobody knew about this. In fact, one time there was a survey that had the 4 least popular majors at the school. It asked students to pick which one they didn't know about. I don't know which major was actually picked, but supply chain was on the list, meaning nobody knew about it. Of course, when 2020 hit, everyone became familiar with supply chain terminology. The major became much more popular, and I think it's still a great choice. But the point of the story is, it's something that was interesting to me. I enjoyed my classes, but it was also something that I knew was gonna have great career opportunities when I graduated from school. And that's why I decided to major in supply chain. So again, my point is, explore lots of different possibilities. It's possible that you haven't even heard of the major or the career that's a good fit for you. And while you should enjoy what you do, the financial return should also make sense, and it should be a top priority. According to Yahoo Finance, the average starting salary for someone that's graduating with a bachelor's degree is $47,588. And believe it or not, it's very possible to accomplish the goal of investing $100,000 by age 30 with that salary. It is gonna require hard work, but stay tuned for the rest of the video because we're gonna go over the exact steps you need to take to accomplish that goal. All right, now that we have those out of the way, the next thing you're gonna wanna do to build your investments to $100,000 by age 30 is to get in the habit of regularly investing. And if you can, you should automate it. It's very likely that you're not gonna build your wealth by getting super lucky and striking gold on a one-time options trade. I also don't have any secrets on any lucrative stock picks for you. So I'm sorry to disappoint if that's what you came for. The real secret to accomplishing this goal is investing in the overall market, investing regularly, and dollar cost averaging. I actually covered dollar cost averaging in one of my latest videos. So again, I'll link that here if you wanna check it out, and I'm also gonna link it in the description. There's really nothing else to it. It just requires you to get in the habit of investing every single month. And it also requires you to be patient while the market and compound interest does its thing. And like I already mentioned, the best way for you to get in this habit is to automate it. And if you have a 401k program through your work, once you go in and set it up, it's actually gonna take your investments directly out of your paycheck before they even hit your bank account, which is awesome. You don't even have to do anything once you go in and you make your contribution selections. And if you don't have a 401k program, you can also just set up automatic contributions in an IRA or in a regular taxable brokerage. So there's really no excuse to get this automated and to make yourself get in the habit of investing. So you're probably now wondering, how much do you actually have to invest every month to have $100,000 invested by age 30? We're gonna get there, I promise. Just hang in there, we're close. All right, and I already touched on this earlier in the video, but the next step to build your investment successfully is to just keep it simple. Like I said, I don't have any insider knowledge on the stock market. And the truth is that nobody really does. And because of this, I like to keep my investing super simple using index funds and target date retirement funds. This means my portfolio is already diversified and it's set up to closely follow the US economy, which I strongly believe in. And again, I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not gonna make any specific recommendations on funds I think you should invest in. But overall, the simpler you keep your investments, the better. And don't be mistaken, just because you have a simple investment strategy doesn't mean that you can't build wealth quickly. I use simple funds to track broader market indexes, and I accomplished this goal well before 30. So keep it simple and stay the course. All right, we're finally at the part of the video you've been waiting for. We're now gonna go over how much you'll need to invest every month to reach the goal of having $100,000 invested by age 30. And because we are looking to accomplish this goal in a relatively short amount of time, the answer is gonna depend on your age. Even 1 year is gonna make a huge difference on how much you need to contribute. Someone who is starting at 21 is not gonna need to invest as much as someone who's starting at age 27. And the longer you wait to start into your 20s, the harder it's gonna be for you to accomplish this goal. So you wanna get started as quickly as possible. And before we get into it, keep in mind that this goal should really just be a baseline. Don't limit yourself to this goal if you look at your numbers and you realize you can invest more. You should always be looking to maximize. So if you watch this next part of the video and you realize, I'm already investing more than this, then keep going. And that's awesome, you're doing great. But now let's dive into the numbers, and we're gonna assume for all these calculations that we have an average annual rate of return of 8%, meaning our investments are growing by 8% every year. For someone who is starting at age 20, you'll need to invest $552 every month to accomplish our goal. And if you have the income to start this young, then you have a head start on everybody. This is not the expectation to start at age 20. Most of us, including myself, are still in college at this age, and we're broke and we're still just trying to get by and graduate from school. So if you find yourself able to invest at this age, that's awesome, good job. If you're not, don't get discouraged. I didn't start investing till I was like 22, so you'll be fine. If you're starting this goal at age 21, you'll need to invest $640 every month. At age 22, you'll need to invest $752 every month to reach this goal by age 30. And ideally, this is the age that you'll graduate from college, you'll get started working, and you'll actually start your investing journey. Hopefully, you follow the steps that we talked about throughout the video, and you'll find that $750 is actually very doable. If you're starting at age 23, you'll have to invest $896 every month. We're seeing that number start to get higher and higher. And at age 24, it's $1,090 a month. And that brings us to age 25. If you haven't started your investing journey by now, this is your wake-up call. You are starting to lose out on the best years of your life for taking advantage of compound interest. So get going quick. You're gonna see these numbers start to get higher and higher. Here's the amount for the rest of your years in your 20s that you'll have to invest every month if you want to have $100,000 invested by the time you turn 30. You're gonna see that the longer you wait, the harder and harder this is gonna get. So please, I have to emphasize, get started as early as possible. All right, if you're starting at age 25, you're gonna have to invest $1,363 a month. Starting at age 26, it's $1,774 a month. At 27, it's $2,462 a month. If you're starting at age 28, it's $3,842 a month. And at age 29, this one almost hurts to say, but if you're starting now, you'll have to invest $8,000 a month because you only have 1 year if you want to have $100,000 invested by the time you turn 30. So if we start early in our 20s, you'll find that it's very doable. You're only going to be investing a small percentage of your income every month, but the longer you wait, the harder it's gonna get for you. But anyway, I hope you found this information super helpful. And I wanna know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think I'm completely wrong? That's fine, let me know. Or do you think this goal is attainable? I wanna hear it. Again, if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button, make sure you leave a like on the video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.